Hey traders, welcome back on The Pursuit of Wealth. Today is Wednesday, November 25th. I hope everyone is doing well. In today's video, before we get into it, make sure to smash the like and subscribe, tick the bell, you'll be notified when I go live next. But in today's video, we're going to discuss the crypto market, whether or not we need daily consolidation, whether or not we can expect that in the next few hours or the next day or two, and also a lot of digital assets approaching hourly oversold. So we'll jump into some news and events, just a high-level overview of some market news and events, and then we'll go into some overall indices, including the crypto market, stocks, and commodities, and a few others. So we'll jump right into it. We got quite a bit of news articles here today, actually. It was a little insane in terms of developments today in the media. But first on the list, I have taking a look, what's going on with my browser here? First on the list, taking a look at the cases exploding across the US right now and Thanksgiving coming up tomorrow. So just as a reminder, tomorrow the US markets will be closed. And this could obviously be adding fuel to the fire and accelerate the cases. So showing some concerns in terms of public safety and public health. Another Trump campaign advisor tested positive as well, as his lawyer, Rudy Giuliani, heads to Gettysburg. We also saw that Alberta came out with some emergency health measures. Not sure why this page isn't loading here now, but essentially they are adding more restrictions. Any outside gatherings are limited to 10 people. Not sure why that's not loading for you guys right now, but essentially they declared a state of public health emergency, and it's going to be in lockdown for the next, there we go, for the next 3 weeks. Essentially, hair salons will be able to remain open, but they're sending kids home. Alberta had more than 13,000 active cases, the most in the entire country, despite having fewer people than Ontario, Quebec, and BC. Looks like there's some issues with this page, but essentially there was a public health emergency sending junior high school students home. And it looks like it was Calgary and Edmonton regions only. They capped to 10 people outside, and students in all grades will be sent home December 18th, and the winter break will run a week longer until January 11th. So starting to see more clampdowns and lockdowns. We saw the jobless claims come in today, since tomorrow is a holiday, but they were expecting, it came in at 778,000 versus 730,000 expected. And the continuing claims came in at 6.07 million versus 6 million expected. So with the ramping cases, also people getting laid off due to seasonal work, that type of thing, I think is what contributed to those numbers increasing. US keeps Q3 GDP estimate unchanged with a record 33.1 gain, with the economy expected to slow sharply in the current quarter. We also saw that Fed discussed providing more accommodation by changing Treasury buying to keep longer rates down. So they want to go back to buying bonds and to keep those rates near zero for the foreseeable future, at least. Jobless aid for nearly 14 million Americans to expire the day after Christmas. So found that notable and a little bit sad, quite frankly. Hopefully they're able to pass some legislation or some, extension of the law and the CARES Act, but it's going to get interesting. We got about a month, little less than a month. Wow, crazy that a month from today is Christmas, and pretty much going to be the end of 2020. So I don't know about you. Let me know in the comments below if you're stoked that this is almost the end of 2020. Normally I don't wish my life away, but man, what a year it has been. But on the bright side, probably can't get any worse in 2021. Knock on wood. Mexico central bank sees economy falling 8.7% to 9.3% in 2020. We also saw Biden says the Trump administration, not Trump, keyword there, outreach has been sincere as the transition process begins. Trump rants about overturning the election even as administration begins the transition to Biden. So again, Trump administration was sincere, not Trump. Pretty funny that that came out just not long after. And Trump making headlines today. He pardons Michael Flynn, former national security advisor who admitted lying to the FBI. So that is sketchy. I don't know if anybody else finds that sketchy, but obviously with a couple of weeks and about a month left before he's phased out of the White House, if everything goes according to the way it's going right now, we should see Biden in around January 20th, sworn in his inauguration, and Trump probably just trying to make last minute, amendments to whatever he can possibly while president. And it's not uncommon for presidents to do that. Trump lawyer details far-fetched strategy to reverse Pennsylvania win for Biden. I found this really interesting. I'm not going to read it. It's pretty lengthy, but you can check that on your own. And Rudy Giuliani, his hair makeup dye was sweating. He was sweating, and he's being pummeled with questions, and it was running down his face. Found that pretty incredible. It's like you think you see everything, and then something like that happens. Tesla recalls 9,500 Model X and Model Y cars over roof and bolt issues. Company stock traded about 1% lower in the pre-market. The larger recalls over 9136 Model X cars produced between September 17, 2015 and July 31st, 2016. Tesla also recalled 401 2020 Model Y vehicles. We also saw that Tesla plans to produce electric car chargers in China, document shows. And we saw Amazon Web Services had an outage, and this caused issues for Roku and Adobe. So their cloud platform suffered an outage on Wednesday. Adobe, Roku, and other services to rely on their cloud, AWS, reported some issues with their websites, and major clients like Apple and Slack appeared to be unaffected. Speaking of Slack, we saw their shares absolutely explode today based on the rumor of a possible Salesforce acquisition. And it looks like the buyout is potentially around the $35 mark, valuation of around 17 billion. But a little surprised that we didn't see other people come in and offer as well. But a lot of news to cover today. So that's pretty much all I had for you guys in terms of market headlines and notable news and events. So we'll take a look at the overall broader markets. So taking a look at the crypto market. So we were selling off there just before the video kicked off, and we were looking at potential hourly oversold conditions. We didn't quite get there. And one thing to note, that Litecoin was almost at hourly oversold before the rest. So there was a nice opportunity to be had there, but also an indication that it may not see more further downside as other assets were not trending in the same direction to that extent, and we were not oversold. Ripple got as low as 58 cents here, and you could have entered with a stop below 56 support, which was the last hourly high or low, and you would have been up about 12% now. So hit a low of 58, and in less than an hour, we're up 12%. So volatility right now on XRP is absolutely massive. If you look at Bitcoin, it's only up about 1.5% from the low. Taking a look at Ethereum, only up about 1.5%. Litecoin, 3%. Cardano, 3%. Link, 4%. So XRP volatility is where it is at. That's what I'm trading. I just traded it, flipped it for a quick gain on, I actually entered a little too soon. I went off of 61 support. So I made an entry at 61. And I made another entry at 59 with a stop below 56. And then I just exited break even, as I do think that we're potentially setting up for a 15-minute lower high. Let's just take a look. So that's all we're expecting on this bounce. We could top out here at EMA 26 resistance, but we were getting very extreme on oversold conditions. On the 15-minute, we were in the teens in the 1908. And on the hourly, you can see here that we got fairly close to oversold conditions based on the lower wick there, but we were still about a little ways off. Probably, I think we hit 34, so we were about 4 points off of being oversold. So again, just expecting a 15-minute lower high. We have an hourly inside bar here on watch. So most important short-term resistance is going to be 66.69 cents, and the support at 58.4 cents. But I wouldn't be surprised if we have an hourly lower high every candle for the last 4 hours. Wouldn't be surprised if we broke down here and tested hourly oversold. And Ripple's going to be my horse once we do get to hourly oversold. And while I think of it, I'm actually just going to put an alert on that as well. And this is the benefit of using TradingView. They also have a sale on. I did a video on it the other day, but essentially you can get up to 60% off your annual or your monthly memberships and 1 month free. So be sure to take advantage of that. So set that alert and potentially look to enter on hourly oversold conditions. Again, after such huge run-ups, we haven't been hourly oversold since this huge monstrous run of over 150%. And you can see here from the fib retracement, we hit the 0.32 fib, bounced, and we're respecting that. We bounced off it again, but looking at a potential entry around the 0.5 fib level, so the 50% retracement, and looking for that as a potential hourly oversold condition entry and a potential bounce off of that as well, and potentially with a stop below 50 cents. So that's going to be the trade that I'm looking at in terms of crypto. Let's flip over to the global indices. So taking a look at SPY on the daily. SPY has been notably boring for the last little while. We did see a daily inside bar here again. We had a couple back here, but we're back into a tightening range. So we have resistance at 363.81, support at 359.29. Going to be the most important resistance going into tomorrow. And if we can break the high of today, tomorrow, then chances of this daily bounce continuation increases. But still rock solid support at EMA 12 there. Let's just take a look at the dollar. So the dollar lost 92, but bulls trying to buy the dip here. No support after that until 91.74. Taking a look at IWM, closed a little red today. Taking a look at the NASDAQ, up marginal, just a tiny bit green today. SMH closed flat. SPY, like I said, pretty much flat. QQQ up over 0.5%. So QQQ rotation again today and leading the indices so far. TAN solar sector up 1.5%. US oil seeing another huge move and just daily continuation. We also went into a monthly trend change off the low here of 1 penny. Absolutely insane. But you can see we had a low, high, higher low into a higher high. So as soon as we broke above 43.75, that was the go signal. But we do have EMA 26 resistance at 46.62. So that's going to be the next most important resistance on the monthly. Weekly higher low every candle for the last 4 weeks from the weekly support level here at 35.72. Daily again higher low every single candle from the higher low down here at 40.12. So that's the last daily support. Anything below, anything above that is just a higher low on the daily. So we could pull back here. Let's take a look. Pull back here about 12% and still be in a daily uptrend. And we also have EMA 12 and 26 there as support as well. So expecting some consolidation on oil here into the end of the week, potentially. But in order for us to be confident that the daily move is over or daily consolidation is potentially underway, we need to lose the 4-hour uptrend. That's where we stand on US oil, the VIX. Let me know in the comments below if you're considering buying any SPY puts right now, with SPY being near all-time highs. VIX this low, the premium on puts is extremely low as well. And you can see that we are forming a bit of a 4-hour falling wedge and potentially looking to enter some puts myself and maybe even a VIX position, we'll see, but expecting a break to the upside here at some point. We do have support at 20.80 as well. So look to get in as quickly, as close to that as possible. Gold still weak at this point. Daily bounce, so daily inside bar but bounce has been very unimpressive at this point. Taking a look at silver, so still respecting that weekly descending triangle, even though gold broke bear out of its descending triangle. So we'll see if silver follows suit. XBI up over 0.5% today. Daily inside bar on watch. XHB, daily consolidation underway with breaking the low of yesterday. Just looking for a daily higher low compared to 54.23. XLE, energy sector, looks like it had a mini bear break. 39.28, 39.15. Yes, it did. We have a gap in the chart. Long ways away from EMA 12 support as well. Wouldn't be surprised if we see more consolidation into tomorrow, especially with oil looking a little toppy and in need of some consolidation. Healthy consolidation at that. XLF, daily inside bar on watch. Most important resistance is going to be 28.69, support at 28.10. And going into tomorrow, we'll see if we can break the high of today, 28.58, or if we break the low of 28.22. XLRE, real estate trust sector, daily consolidation underway, looking to bounce off EMA 26 support. XLV continues its weakness and had a little bit of an inside bar bull break and fake out, then back below EMA 12 as resistance and broke out of that inside bar that we were watching bearish. And most important short-term support is going to be 107.84, and most important short-term resistance is going to be 109.58. After that, we're looking up at 113.19, and no real resistance on the daily after, or support on the daily after that level, all the way down to 131. So seeing increasing sell volume as well, generally not a good sign. That's where we stand in terms of global indices. See if there's anything that I missed. We'll take a quick look at some individual tickers here as well. So just see what was moving today. Obviously, work on the Salesforce acquisition rumor up huge, 37%. Congrats to the bulls. JMIA continues its monster move up 23%. Space up almost 10%. Snow 7%. Shop 4%, almost 5%. Riot was up about 8%, I think, at one point there today. Notable losers, we had the EV sector slowing down a little bit. So to begin the day, we had the Tesla recall news. We had NEO daily consolidation looking like it was underway. We had NKLA down about 15% pre-market. But one thing I wanted to highlight on work as well was a trade idea here. So if you were eyeing work as a potential entry for the weekly higher low, you could have entered off 24.21, which is the last weekly higher low support. We got as low as 24.09, so we did hit that support level, and we basically triggered some stop losses. So if you would have entered on that potential bear break and knowing that we've already lost 26%, what are the chances that we were really going to get that much follow through? So the chances of a double bottom essentially, or a little bit of a fake out there, a bear trap, and it was a monster move. You could have entered, say you started to scale in around support as we were starting to get extreme. It was favoring an equilibrium, and then obviously on that news just blasted out to the upside, up 70%. Wow, congrats to the bulls. So like I said, EV FOMO train started to slow down a little bit today, but ultimately Tesla closed at 574, which looks like that's a new all-time high. Yes, it is. Congrats to the Tesla bulls as well. Up marginally here after hours. We'll see how long this hype train can continue. See if there's any other notable movers. Amazon still watching this potential weekly head and shoulders formation. Taking a look at Microsoft. Microsoft could still technically be similar, but the more we go on here, the less likely that pattern is going to play out. And Apple up less than 1% today, still in that weekly tightening range and equilibrium with a high, low, lower, high, higher, low, lower, high, looking for another higher low compared to 107.32. So that's where we stand for the individual tickers. Taking a look at the Canadian MJ space. So notable movers today, we had PCLO up 33%. I did a video on that earlier today. So check out that video. Just go to my channel, search PCLO, should come up. RIV up over 17% today. VFF continues its monster move. APHA was the strongest Canadian LP tier 1 bull today. And still watching this potential golden cross on Cron as well. You can see we've already crossed 50 through the 100. Very, very close now to the 200-day moving average. Not as apparent on the Canadian side. Still a little ways to go, but on the US side, we're looking good. MACD trending up. We have a double bottom here at a low of 767. And we also had an algo alert go off on that. So you can see here, we had an algo alert go off on November 2nd. And the price was, buy entry was 568, long, risk, medium, stop was 489, and the target was $7 to $8. So we'll go back here to Cron and just see how that played out. So taking a look at the Cron chart, we'll go to the daily. So on November 2nd, it triggered at 568. Right around here. So you could have entered, stop was around 489, I believe it was. We got as low as 544 on November 4th, and that's as low as we got. And if you would have entered off of that algo alert, you would be up 55% in just a week. So that algo alert absolutely crushed it. And taking a look at the next alert that just came out. So we had a buy alert from 760 all the way to $8. So average in potentially is an option, or just look to get it close to 760 support. We had the type long swing entry. Risk rating is high, stop level is 764, and the target price is between 9 and 11 plus. But everything looking great on the Cron chart. Could be due for a golden cross here. Keep an eye out for any potential news as well. We're seeing some very big strength in the chart technicals. So just keep an eye out for any potential headlines or any potential news catalysts coming out for Chronos. The weekly MACD and stochastic is blasting off as well. And we're well above the 10-week moving average. And you can see that this thing is just rocketing parabolic, like it's starting to get going. So it's going to be interesting to see how we finish off the year and go into 2021. But one thing of note here on Cron is that we are about over 200% away from the all-time high. So lots of room to go. Canopy, if we take a look at the move for Canopy, it's about 122% to its all-time high. APHA, little 175%. ACB, this ought to be interesting. 1600%, so 16x it needs to go. And a lot of people wonder why ACB is the weakest name out of the top tiers. Then we have Hexo with about a little over 10x potential upside from the all-time high. The weekly Bollinger Bands are also getting extremely tight on Hexo. We saw that back here as well. I was looking at Hexo's Bollinger Bands on the hourly, and you can see we were getting extremely tight, and then boom, huge, huge move off of that. Trump starting to transition the Biden process beginning to commence, and obviously that huge reaction in the after hours. But that's where we stand on Canadian MJ. So again, APHA standing out as lead bull there. We have TAT down 10%, notable mover on the US side. We have KBEV up 20%, Ian up 12%, Harv up 10%, Acreage up over 11%, CL, Cura, TrueLeave, GTII seeing a little bit of green as well, so around 2 to 5%. TrueLeave, did it set a new all-time high today? Yes, it did. So we have a new all-time high at 37.41. Again, we're not seeing a whole lot of buying pressure from the US MSOs. And again, I think that's due to the lack of liquidity and trading volume today. Just taking a look at the shares traded, we have 339,000. So 339,000 times the share price of, say, 36 average, only about $12 million traded today. That is very, very low. Let's take a look at ACB on the NYSE, as that is the most volume on the US side, traded 34 million shares. So 34 million shares times a share price of, we'll say, average of 8, traded $272 million. So that gives you some perspective on why it's probably going to take some time for big money to get into the space. But going back to TrueLeave, the top MSO in terms of technicals rated at its all-time high, you can see that we did establish a new daily higher low at 32.08. So anything above that's going to be a daily higher low. If we do start daily consolidation, we also have EMA 12 and 26 there as a potential reference point for a bounce. And most important support or resistance going to be 37.41, which is the new all-time high. So we'll look for an hour loss at the hourly uptrend to confirm daily consolidation and the low and potential for some pullback. And then we'll just scout a daily higher low once that hourly uptrend is lost, like I said, compared to 32.08. So that's pretty much where we stand in terms of US and Canadian MJ. I'm going to leave it there for today. This video, I'll try to keep it as short as I can for you folks and jam pack as many nuggets and info, and hope you find this channel and these videos helpful. And consider liking, subscribing to the channel, tick the bell, you'll be notified. We do daily market updates every single day after market close. And just another reminder that the market is closed tomorrow in the US. So with that, I hope you have a great night. Thanks again for joining us on The Pursuit of Wealth. And like I said, consider liking the video, shows me some support, subscribe to the channel, and we'll see you tomorrow for another daily market recap.